Do you teach how to build credit?
We are actually working with an individual that I'm hoping to be able to bring into the school as an instructor. And he does have different ways to handle credit matters. Um, as far as like building credit, the options that are available in the school right now is like there's one process that you can get a secured credit card, um, do 3 months of the payments for the card. And after that, you would go back to them and you would, you can get a secure, like a card that begins as a secured credit card, like where you put $200 on it or $500 on it, and then you use it. Um, After you make those payments right back, after about 3 months, if you're timely, you can request them to unsecure that card. And so that's a method to help you build credit, is starting with the secured card, utilizing it properly, paying off the total bill 3 months consecutively, and they'll usually pull the secured portion off of the card and allow it to be an unsecured card. After the secured card moves to an unsecured card, if you continue the process the way that you pay it, the time that you pay it, consistent, you can go back to that credit card company every 3 months and tell them to raise your line of credit. And they'll 9 times out of 10, they will do that. So that is one way that we can help supplement your credit. Also, you can, let me think the best way to explain this. Okay, so have you ever heard of a CPN?
Yes.
Okay, so having the knowledge of a CPN, you know that there's a thing called authorized users, and you can like pay somebody $2,000 and you get access to the credit from like an old Bank of America bank account. Say it's 20 years old, never had any negative marks on it, or whatever the case may be. You can give somebody a certain amount of money and they will make you an authorized representative on their account. Now, you don't get a credit card or anything like that that you can use their credit, but what happens is it will transfer their credit and their credit, like that account, onto your credit report, thus raising your credit score to their credit score. When that happens, you'll begin to get a bunch of credit card offers, and then you accept the credit card offers. A lot of people are shaky on dealing with credit because they don't realize that your credit report, to be like in the 700s and above, you need to have a mixed bag of accounts. So you might have a personal loan, you might have an auto loan, you might have a mortgage, and then like 10 credit cards, right? They're looking for several different types of credit. Okay. And so a lot of people think, oh, well, I'll be okay if I just have 2 or 3 credit cards, right? But you really want to have like more like 10 or 12 credit cards. Okay. And then you want to utilize those credit cards in specific manners. Like you may have one card that's a high limit card, and when all the other cards start getting too full, you say, okay, that highest limit card, I'm willing to charge that card to the game. And you would consolidate the debt on all of your other cards onto the highest limit card, and then you would max that card out. Okay, so you max the card out, then you could either let it sit for 6 months and let it go through the charge off process and just remove the debt collector, or you can like max the card out and do an A for V, which will also charge create a charge off. So you'll lose that account, but as soon as your credit recovers, you're going to start getting mailers for more lines of credit. So just grab those other lines of credit and your credit score will go back up. Okay. I have been successful in teaching several people how to live a prepaid life with their credit cards by understanding when to pay the card, when to max a card out, and what you do when you max that card out. Say you have a $20,000 line of credit on one of your cards, you consolidate about $8,000 worth of credit from your other cards, thus making those balances go to zero, and the new card is going to hold all the weight. Then the smart person would do strategic moves. They would pay their cell phone off for the year, pay their internet off for the year, pay the electric down, pay the car insurance down, put some money on the car note, buy new TVs, computers, furniture, whatever it takes, like pay a year off of your rent or pay 6 months off of the rent or mortgage, right? All on the credit card, whatever it takes to max it out, right? And if done strategically, if you paid everything up for 1 year on your line of credit, your credit's only going to take 6 months to recover. When it recovers, you'll get new credit card offers, your credit score will go back up, and you can start the entire thing over again. So it's like a cycle of knowing, okay, I'm going to pay off everything that I can right now. Then you don't have to worry about paying monthly because it's all paid annually. And if you keep the cycle going, we've had a lady who did this process and she paid everything down. She took her daughter on vacation. They went to Disney. They got all new clothes and electronics and all that stuff. She maxed that card out. She charged that card off. But she didn't have to worry about her credit score because she didn't have to worry. Everything was paid off for a whole year. But when she did the debt validation on the charge off, she began to get like 10, 12 more offers for lines of credit. So she took all of them. So she took all those lines of credit, which raised her credit score higher. And then she had another high yield card from the new cards that came in. She picked one and she did the same thing. She consolidated everything off of previous cards, put it on this new high balance card, and paid off a second year. So when she paid off her second year, she was actually able to quit her job, and she was able to just basically travel with her daughter. She took her daughter out of school, she put her in K-12, and they just traveled. They went around the world and saw different things, and she began to understand different things, like, well, with all of these new credit cards that she got, some of them have frequent flyer mileages and things like that. The benefits and the perks, the cash back and the concierge service that's attached to the cards and things like that. She began to understand how to utilize them. That's how her and her daughter were able to travel the world. She never had to pay for tickets because she had miles on there from, from spending a certain amount. She had the miles, and they would just use the miles to go fly wherever they wanted to. So it is a possibility for you to structure your credit life in such a situation that it brings you into a prepaid status.